Government issues 2,253 compliance letters, reports higher revenue collections, Government Insider Sister, Regina Tourism Fair 2026, MP Durham. Stronger policies start with stronger public input. Unity and Solidarity TV program, Caribbean Labour Union. From the island, Sint Maarten, this is SXM Daily News for June 8, 2026. The government issued 2,253 compliance letters to businesses and taxpayers during its Joint Tax Compliance Initiative between February and April 2026, resulting in hundreds of taxpayer submissions, company file reviews, and improved revenue collections across several major tax categories. The government announced the successful completion of the initiative, which was aimed at strengthening tax compliance, improving taxpayer engagement, and enhancing the accuracy of taxpayer information. The project was led by Minister of Finance Marinka Gums in collaboration with Social and Health Insurance's SCV Deputy Director Elton Felici. It was carried out through a coordinated effort involving SBAB, ATS, and tax compliance specialists from St. Maarten and Curaçao. A total of 30 professionals were deployed across 9 districts to deliver compliance letters concerning outstanding declarations, unpaid obligations, missing filings, and record discrepancies. As a result of the initiative, 392 taxpayers submitted supporting documentation. In addition, 388 company files were referred for review. Of those, 286 files were fully processed, while 106 remained under active review. The project also generated significant administrative updates, including new registrations, deregistrations, salary adjustments, and corrections to employer and taxpayer records. More than 200 changes were identified and verified across over 100 employers, highlighting the importance of maintaining accurate and up-to-date compliance information. Minister Gums said the initiative demonstrated that compliance efforts are most effective when the government and taxpayers work together. This initiative demonstrates that compliance is most effective when government and taxpayers work together. Many individuals and businesses responded constructively, corrected inaccuracies, and regularized their positions, contributing to a stronger and more sustainable future for St. Maarten. Felici said, the results highlighted the importance of collaboration among government agencies. These outcomes underscore the value of cooperation between institutions and the importance of maintaining accurate taxpayer information to support the effective administration of tax and social insurance obligations. According to a press release, preliminary indicators show improvements in both compliance and revenue performance compared to the same period in 2025. Revenue collections increased across several major tax categories, including wage tax, turnover tax, profit tax, AVBZ, AOV, AWDW, and ZVOV. The increases reflect stronger compliance and improved taxpayer responsiveness. While a comprehensive analysis of the initiative's long-term impact is still ongoing, the government views the early results as evidence that targeted compliance efforts can strengthen revenue administration, improve data accuracy, and support a fair and sustainable tax system. Chairlady of Parliament, Sarah Westcott-Williams, has welcomed the unanimous support of all Kingdom delegations for a proposal aimed at strengthening the role and effectiveness of the Interparliamentary Kingdom Consultation, IPKO. Speaking during the June 5, 2026, IPKO meeting in The Hague, Westcott-Williams called for a renewed focus on improving the functioning of the parliamentary platform itself, while continuing to address the major issues affecting the countries of the Kingdom. I am extremely pleased that all delegations embrace the proposal, Westcott-Williams said. IPCO has proven its value over the years as a forum for dialogue and cooperation. However, like any institution, it must continue to evolve if it is to remain effective and relevant. Strengthening the kingdom relationship requires more than goodwill alone. Westcott Williams stated, "It requires the courage to address difficult issues openly and honestly. The democratic deficit, the dispute regulation, and the legacy of slavery are not matters that can remain on the sidelines. They require continued parliamentary attention and engagement from all four countries." Westcott Williams noted that recent developments surrounding the United Nations vote on a resolution concerning slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, and reparatory justice underscored the importance of consultation and communication within the kingdom. The strength of IPCO lies in bringing elected representatives together to exchange views, build understanding, and seek common ground, she said. At a time when important kingdom issues demand dialogue and cooperation, we must ensure that this platform is operating at its fullest potential. She described the broad support received from the delegations as a positive signal that parliamentarians across the kingdom recognize both the value of IPKO and the need to continuously improve the mechanisms that facilitate cooperation. According to the chairlady, the discussions in The Hague were marked by a constructive spirit and a shared commitment to strengthening parliamentary engagement throughout the kingdom. The support demonstrated that despite our different perspectives and national interests, there is a common understanding that stronger cooperation begins with stronger dialogue, she said. That is precisely what IPKO was created to foster. Westcott Williams expressed confidence that the renewed focus on the operation and effectiveness of IPCO will contribute to more meaningful parliamentary cooperation, greater mutual understanding, and a stronger and more balanced kingdom partnership. Member of Parliament Egbert Doran is exploring the potential benefits of a Citizens Advisory Council for Sint Maarten, following discussions at the Interparliamentary Kingdom Consultation IPKO in the Netherlands. The concept was highlighted during a presentation by representatives of the Dutch Burgerberaad, or Citizens' Assembly, which brings together ordinary citizens to study important issues and provide recommendations to policymakers. While the presentation focused on climate-related matters, Doran said what interested him most was the model itself and its potential application to a wide range of issues affecting Sint Maarten. The idea that stood out to me was not necessarily the topic itself, but the mechanism, Doran said. At the end of the day, we are representatives of the people. Any tool that allows us to better understand what people are experiencing in their daily lives can strengthen the work that we do as legislators. According to Doran, a Citizens Advisory Council could bring together people from different sectors of society, including educators, healthcare professionals, legal experts, psychologists, youth representatives, entrepreneurs, community advocates, and ordinary citizens to provide input on national issues. Potential topics could include education, healthcare, housing, youth development, economic opportunities, cost of living challenges, public safety, and other matters of national importance. One of my philosophies is that before you prescribe a solution, you first have to understand the problem, Doran explained. It's similar to visiting a doctor. The doctor cannot simply hand out medicine without first consulting with the patient and understanding what is really going on. Doran emphasized that such a body would not replace Parliament's role in decision-making, but could serve as an additional avenue for public engagement and informed consultation. We speak regularly about putting people first. This is one way of ensuring that citizens have a meaningful opportunity to contribute to discussions on issues that directly affect their future and the future of our country. While no formal proposal has been made, Doran said the presentation sparked important discussions about how democratic participation can be strengthened and how policymakers can remain connected to the realities facing the people they represent. As parliamentarians, our responsibility is to listen. The more informed we are about the concerns, priorities, and experiences of our people, the better equipped we are to develop solutions that truly address their needs. Samantha Beaton-Elson, Principal, Sister Regina School, on the Gov Insider Sister Regina Tourism Fair 2026, our team spared. You try to promote the beautiful things happening on St. Martin. The person who is behind all of this is a great idea. Is the teacher generally? The teacher generally is my English subject teacher, but her way of teaching is just great. She goes beyond teaching in the classroom. She goes that extra mile, said Principal, Sister Regina School.
Well, today it's an exciting day because this morning we have our tourism fair. Yes, tourism fair. We try to promote what beautiful things are happening on St. Martin. Well, and the person who is behind all of this great idea, is Teacher Jenny Lee. Teacher Jenny Lee is my English subject teacher, but her way of teaching is just great. She goes beyond teaching in the classroom. She goes that extra mile. And this, what we do today, is a product of that.
Jenny Lee Van Troon, English subject teacher. First of all, this assignment started with the intention of teaching English on a different level. The subject English is in a language that is overall in the world. Hanson's and Martin's greatest industry lattice, tourism. Why not make a project that has to do with tourism in combining the language?
This assignment started all with the intention of teaching English on a different level. The subject English is a language that is overall in the world. And since St. Martin's greatest industry lies in tourism, why not make a project that has to do with tourism and combining the language? So there is basically where it all came from. Further on, the students were supposed to do research, look up information, go by companies, try to figure out how they're going to set up their booth, what kind of speaking skills they're going to use, what kind of skills they're going to use to represent their booth. Those are all basically skills that they're going to need. Other than that, at the Sister Regina School, we teach our students by learning to do. And while doing it, that's how you learn best. And of course, how we are a portfolio school, that fits best because that is what it's all about. And for the students, it has been a whole journey in creating this product. Not only by our pillars that we believe in taking responsibility, showing respect, working together, because that's it. The Group 7 and the Group 8 working together and creating a product. So that's what this is all about. And of course, taking ownership in creating everything. What I also want to add, they're having a big proud moment right now, very confident and ready to prepare, to present what they have to do. I must say that I am grateful for all the companies that have had their part in this. They have supported the students in the way that they could, and we are very grateful and hope to have them next year because this is going to happen annually. Yes. It's education meeting tourism, a good combination, a good relationship. Also, I must add there has been a challenge here and there with companies having students reach out to, but yes, it's all in the game. I would like to say to those companies, when you meet a certain email that says it's about students, it's about learning, help to support them, please. That's just it. That's just it. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy this fair, the tourism fair.
Grisha Haliger Martin. Minister of Tourism. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the skin at the tourism fair. They're working on their homework, they've taken their time, they're showing you what can be what kind of what's fun for adults, what's fun for kids.
They have really done their homework. They've taken their time. They're showing you what can be, what's fun for adults, what's fun for kids. Certain things I didn't know, so certain things I'm learning on my own, which is great, especially by Buccaneers. This little one, she goes to Buccaneers every Friday, but that's something good, something we can also promote and let the tourists know that, hey, you come with kids, so this is what you can do with kids. I am very impressed so far with all the information that I'm receiving. Looking forward to the next leg and learning more.
Melissa Gums, Minister of Education, to learn more about our tourism industry, also to practice their public speaking presentations. Rainforest is one of the best. Puppy Turtle as well. Pocket is nice because they had the Builder collection with the iPad to be a pilot, so I enjoy it so far.
It's pretty cool so far. I think it's a great opportunity for them to learn more about our tourism industry. Also to practice their public speaking. I've had some good presentations thus far. Rainforest is one of the best. Pocky Turtle as well. Buccaneers was nice because they had the guy with the little kid with the eye patch to be a pirate. So enjoying it so far, and I hope to see other schools try to replicate this and learn more about the industry that kind of drives our economy. And yeah, maybe in the future they themselves will be, owning some of the establishments that we see future school children give us tours about. So it's nice so far.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah. Your social health insurances.
Island Gems Charity Foundation has donated a new industrial stove to the No Kidding with Our Kids Foundation, ASA, helping the organization continue providing daily hot meals and a safe, nurturing environment for the children it serves. For nearly 3 decades, ASA has supported children on St. Martin through educational, recreational, and character-building programs. A key component of its work is ensuring that children receive a nutritious meal each afternoon. The donation comes after ASA identified an urgent need to replace its aging industrial stove, which had served the organization for more than 20 years and had become increasingly unreliable for daily use. By donating the new stove, Island Gems has helped ensure that ASA can continue preparing meals for the children who depend on its after-school and community programs. Island Gems President Alita Singh said the foundation was pleased to support an initiative that directly impacts the well-being of children. At Island Gems, we believe that children learn best when their basic needs are met. By donating this stove, we are supporting an organization that has been making a positive difference in the lives of young people for many years. We are proud to contribute to a program that provides both nourishment and opportunity. The ability to provide a warm meal each day is an important part of what we do. This donation ensures that we can continue serving the children who depend on our program. We are sincerely grateful to Island Gems for responding to this need. The new stove will support meal preparation for approximately 100 children who participate in ASA's programs and will help ensure continuity of service for years to come. Present for the donation presentation were Island Gems members Alita Singh, Varsha Punjabi, Cherise Rampajan, and Ludmilla De Weaver. Accepting the donation on behalf of ASA was Managing Director Merlin Chaminade Miguel, host of the Bakari Makhiru, Unity and Solidarity TV program, Caribbean Labor Union, and Peace with keynote speaker Susan Hodge. Unity is definitely a critical component. But to go back to what you said with regards to World War I, because I was really a critical moment for caravan workers also. What I would say is that in my observations, at least a number, let's call them progressive leaders at the time, right? To me, they had a clear ideology. And as a result of that particular ideology, they were then able to train and institutionalize their particular ideas.
Unity and solidarity is definitely a critical component. But to go back to what you said with regards to World War I, right? Because that was really a critical moment for Caribbean workers also.
Yes.
Yeah. What I would say is that in my observations, at least a number of the, let's call them progressive leaders at the time, right? To me, they had a clear ideology. And as a result of that particular ideology, they were then able to train and institutionalize their particular ideas. Yeah. And that's something I really appreciated. So whether they call themselves left or whatever have you, they, to me, unless the circumstances warranted a shift in their ideas, but they were what they were to the core. You understand what I'm saying? And that's something I really appreciate because you know where they stood. You understand? Like I mean, like how you mentioned CARICOM. Sometimes I have my questions about CARICOM. You know, of course, I believe in Caribbean unity, right? I believe in federation. Yeah, but sometimes the way how I see our leaders, I would say, fold in front of U.S. imperialism, I start to scratch my head. You
But you
understand what
have
I'm
to
saying?
think, do they understand why CARICOM came into being? And education to me is a very important part, not just the school education,
Correct.
informal education, trade union education. A lot of the systems and a lot of the way that we work in governments today in the public service has been mandated for hundreds of years, and it may have been the right thing then, but does that mean that we shouldn't change it slightly now? Does it have to be that way? We have to look at it. And I don't think, because the way that the world is moving and the technological advancements, people don't have time to do that deep work to think about, let's change this structure, let's change this procedure. Recently, I read something to say that I think a couple of 100 years ago, we didn't need passports.
Who was we?
People.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant people of African extract.
No, people didn't
Okay.
need passports. I know that in the last 60 years, a child could be added to a parent's passport. But now that child, no matter how young, no matter how small, has to have their own separate passport.
Yes.
So I technology is good, and I have to say, as the home of .ai, I cannot say anything anything negative about .ai,
Yes.
but we have to know how to use it, and we have to use it wisely.
I totally agree, because I think we are living in very exciting times,
Yes.
right? And what I've noticed is that sometimes the abundance of information seemingly overwhelms individuals to the point where they probably lost interest,
Yeah.
in a particular issue or cause. Like, for example, sometimes, when you have conversation with certain individuals, and you explain to them what's happening in the world and how we ought to interpret it. They ask you where you get at, you understand, or how you know that, whatever, like, but it's there, it's in the newspaper, it's online, it's at this particular journal, you see. But let's call it, the system has done such a great job in keeping us busy and distracted
Yes.
and constantly chasing short-term gratification with shiny objects, that oftentimes our focus, it causes our focus to shift, in my
Yeah.
opinion, and we've developed a kind of posturing that it's someone else's problem,
Yeah.
it is not our problem, you
It's true.
see. So that's why I always, again, in my observation, especially of CARICOM, since again the election of the 47th occupant of the White House. I'm just watching the conversations. I am, witnessing the exchanges between leaders who profess unity, who profess a common heritage, a common future. But then I mean, it's just me. Maybe this is just for public consumption, but at least in the public domain, there seems to be sharp differences of opinion on how we should go forward.
The Hague. Curaçao's transition to renewable energy will depend as much on strengthening its electricity infrastructure as on building new solar and wind projects, according to energy expert Robin van Herk. Addressing parliamentarians during the Interparliamentary Kingdom Consultation, IPKO, in The Hague, Van Herk said investments in electricity grids, battery storage systems, and backup generation capacity should be prioritized to ensure a reliable energy supply. According to the TNO researcher, renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power are already becoming increasingly competitive in Curaçao and other Caribbean islands. However, because these energy sources depend on weather conditions, they require supporting infrastructure capable of balancing fluctuations in electricity production. The sun does not always shine, and the wind does not always blow, Van Herk explained. That means islands need batteries, backup capacity, and modern electricity networks that can manage changes in supply and demand. The recommendations closely align with a decision by the Dutch government to make $150 million available for the energy transition in Curaçao, Aruba, and Sint Maarten. Announced during the Caribbean Climate and Energy Conference in Curaçao in 2025, the funding is intended to strengthen the foundations of the energy transition rather than directly subsidize renewable energy projects. The funding can be used to improve electricity grids, battery storage systems, regulatory frameworks, and technical capacity needed to support a modern energy system. Van Herk argued that renewable energy projects are increasingly able to attract commercial investment on their own. The greater challenge, he said, lies in financing the infrastructure needed to distribute and store renewable electricity reliably. Without these investments, countries may struggle to integrate larger amounts of renewable energy into their electricity systems, potentially limiting the benefits of future solar and wind developments. The expert emphasized that stronger infrastructure would not only improve energy security, but also support economic growth. by reducing dependence on imported fossil fuels and lowering vulnerability to international energy price fluctuations. His remarks come as Curaçao continues to pursue major energy projects, including battery storage initiatives, wind energy expansion, and investments in new electricity generation capacity aimed at strengthening the island's power supply.
Now for the weather forecast, tonight through Tuesday evening. Partly cloudy with light haze and brief local showers possible. Surface winds, tonight through Tuesday evening. Easterly with a light to gentle breeze at 6 to 12 mph. State of the sea, slight waves or swells, 2 to 4 feet outlook through Wednesday evening. Partly cloudy with light haze, becoming cloudy at times with isolated showers, and now your 3-day forecast.
Your social and health insurance is your social and health insurance.
Are you SXV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXV is cardless. Request your My SXV account today and enter the virtual office of SXV. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance.
The United States has announced a new round of sanctions against Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel, senior government officials, and military-linked entities, accusing Havana of engaging in activities that threaten U.S. national security and support anti-American movements. In a statement on Thursday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the sanctions were imposed under President Donald Trump's Executive Order 14404, signed on May 1, 2026. The measures target 5 Cuban entities and 5 individuals, including Diaz-Canel and Alejandro Castro Espín, whom the U.S. government alleges are involved in supporting and financing activities aimed at undermining U.S. interests. Rubio accused Cuba's communist government of conducting a decades-long campaign against the United States and serving as a base for the promotion of left-wing revolutionary movements throughout the hemisphere. The sanctions also expand pressure on Cuba's military-controlled economic sector. The U.S. designated Cuba's Ministry of the Revolutionary Armed Forces, MINFA, arguing that it exercises significant control over the island's economy through military-owned businesses. According to the State Department, companies owned 50% or more by MINFAR, the military conglomerate GESA, or Cuba's Interior Ministry, could also face restrictions and potential sanctions exposure. The U.S. additionally sanctioned a Cuban government-linked gold mining joint venture, alleging that it generates revenue for military and political elites rather than benefiting the Cuban population. The announcement marks the latest escalation in U.S.-Cuba tensions as the Trump administration continues to tighten economic and diplomatic pressure on Havana. Cuba's government has historically rejected similar accusations, arguing that U.S. sanctions are politically motivated and contribute to economic hardship on the island. This is our SXM Daily Newscast. Thank you for joining us.